played together for 9 years, and now they've led Virginia to the national semifinals. A week ago, freshman Rob Kavovit of Syracuse set up senior Casey Donegan with a winning goal. Syracuse down Duke 12-11, sending Roy Simmons to his 12th straight semifinal with a shot at his 6th national championship. NCAA Productions presents the 1994 Division I Men's Lacrosse Championship. Today from Byrd Stadium on the campus of the University of Maryland, it's the national semifinals. The Cavaliers of Virginia meeting the Orange Men of Syracuse. Hello again, everybody. I'm Dave Cohen. We've got real grass, real sun, and a real good shot. These two teams could make a run at the tournament record of 38 goals in one game. Syracuse, they'll throw the ball behind their backs. They'll shoot it between their legs. They might even jump over the net trying to score. Virginia doesn't strive for the style points. They just put the ball in the nets. More goals this year than they have ever had before. Working with me today is Leif Elsmo. He studied the offensive statistics all week long, but I'm not certain he's convinced that a shootout will ultimately decide this game. Leif?
Dave, there's no question that wide-open offense is exciting, but defense wins championships. And defense is the key to the success for the Virginia Cavaliers this year. Their defense is veteran. 2 seniors, 1 junior in the close defense, another senior in the goal, James Ireland, having the best year of his career. Now that defense will really be tested today because they're going against what might be the best offensive midfield ever to step on a lacrosse field. That's right, 3 All-Americans, Roy Colsey, Charlie Lockwood, Dom Finn. 3 of the top 5 scorers for the explosive Syracuse team will be on one midfield unit at times today. And the way that Virginia handles these 3 guys may well determine the outcome of today's game. Now, I can tell you that the run-and-shoot style of today's game will create mistakes and opportunities for both teams. And the team that converts most of these opportunities into goals will be vying for the championship ring in 2 days. We'll be back to meet the starting lineups in just a minute.
Back with you at College Park, Maryland, the home of lacrosse during the Memorial Day weekend for the Division I and III national championships. Right now, let's meet the starting lineups. First for the Virginia Cavaliers, and we'll have a capsule comment on the highlighted player.
Well, Miller, Watson, and Whiteley, and Miller's the key. He's injured. He's a go-to guy, a finisher. His injury may decide the efficiency of that attack.
Now to the midfield for the Virginia Cavaliers, Greg Traynor.
Traynor is the go-to guy. Cannon for a left-handed shot. Watch him today.
The defense and the goalie, James Ireland.
Big and strong, Chris, Ronald, and Wilson. But the goalie, Ireland, is the key. He'll be tested today.
And in his 3rd year, the head coach of the Cavaliers, Dom Starsha.
Dom Starsha is having a great success in only his 3rd season here. He is looking to upset the great Syracuse team and tradition.
Now to Syracuse, 12th straight year in the semifinals, Jim Marcy on the attack.
Marcy is going to get the focus of the best defenseman on Virginia. He is a big scorer on the attack.
The vaunted midfield with 3 All-Americans for Syracuse.
Oh, you can pick anyone you want. Colsey, Lockwood, Finn. This is Lockwood. He is 3 times been named All-American, a guy that can score from all over the field.
Now the defense and the Syracuse goaltender, Alex Rozier, a junior college transfer.
And Rozier has a good defense in front of him. Smith, Schmid, and Beardsley. They're very active like Piranha. They want the ball on the ground. They'll try to check it out of your stick. Rozier will be tested in his 1st game of this caliber.
Roy Simmons Jr., the first man to win 5 national titles, 2 wins away from his 6th in his 24th year at Syracuse. And the one thing you can say about both coaches in this game is neither will overcoach. They coach Monday through Friday and turn them loose on Saturday.
Well, Dave, Roy Simmons is so excited because he faces that slow-down offense or that slow-down defense, that tactic all season long. Nobody wants to run with his thoroughbreds that he has on the field, but Virginia, that's what's key for their success, is to get the transition game going. Starja says, we're going to run with these guys. We want an up-tempo game, and he's going to get it.
Let's hear even more from Dom Starsha, specifically how his team will face Syracuse today.
Our strength is team speed in the midfield. if we can stretch the field out for them a little bit, make them play the whole field, possess the ball on offense a little bit, be disciplined on defense, slide to the body, those kind of things. Those are the kind of things that we talk about all the time anyway. And so that's why we weren't going to make a lot of changes coming in here. And if we can do those things and control the ground balls, we got a shot here.
That's Dom Starsha, who never saw a lacrosse game in his life before walking onto the Brown campus as a freshman back in the early 70s, became quite a defensive player, coached at Brown, and now in his third year here at Virginia. Let's look at how the teams stack up, not on the field, but in comparisons in statistics.
Well, you can see Syracuse outscoring Virginia on average by 2 goals. Shots, Virginia a little bit ahead, but these two teams shoot more than most teams in the country. Face-offs, Virginia's going to have a slight edge there. Syracuse started off weak at the beginning of the year. They've improved in that department. Watch for a lot of wing play to be successful for Syracuse face-offs. Man-up efficiency, the powerhouse Syracuse man-up, 40%. Virginia not very far behind. And penalties about even, and they will be key today, Dave, the penalty situations.
There are some doubts about Syracuse after their narrow win over Duke last week by a 12-11 score. Here's Roy Simmons.
Well, we used to win by 1, and we celebrated, and everybody celebrated with us. And then we got a little better, and we'd win by a knockout, and 8, 10, 15 goals, and that seemed to be our style in the quarterfinals. And it just didn't happen last week. We got a hold of a very tenacious team. We won, but you wouldn't know it. But we're here.
And they're eyeballing each other right now before the opening face. Syracuse will be in the white with the blue shorts. Virginia wearing the navy and the orange. There'll be a lot of orange on display in this national semifinal. 3 of the 4 teams, Princeton being the other, with orange as a predominant color, and then there's brown. So Syracuse will be in white, Virginia in the dark jerseys. Alex Rozier, who he admitted to being very nervous before yesterday's practice on the Byrd Stadium field, junior college transfer from Herkimer. And in the nets all season, he started every game for Syracuse. James Ireland at the other end, Leaf.
And Dave, going back to Rozier, as we look at Ireland, Rozier knows that last year Chris Saran for Syracuse came up so big in these playoffs, he literally helped to carry Syracuse to the national championship. He has a lot of pressure on him, but he's a big, strong kid, more like a football build on him. He's a great stopper, maybe a little bit weaker on the ground ball shots, the low shots, and let's see if Virginia tries to exploit that.
Face-offs have not been a particularly strong point for Syracuse, and there's still no control yet on the opening face-off. Syracuse finally picks it up. It was Toby Price who was out to take the face-off. The Orangemen with possession with a big stick, taking it toward the box. Now they'll give it off to one of the smaller 6, and Syracuse will go into their settled offense for the first time of the game.
Dave Chad Smith brought it down, number 43 on defense. He's got 7 goals on the year. He's a force from the defensive end.
Dom Finn sends it outside to Charlie Lockwood. Syracuse now getting another man into the fray, even with a goal. Casey Donegan, who scored the game winner against Duke, behind now, working against the defense.
And you can see that Virginia has Driggs, number 9, short stick playing behind. Here's a long stick defender on Lockwood. They're trying to shut him off.
Lockwood now will carry it behind with the right hand. There's a marker down. They'll play on. This is like a delayed penalty, and now we'll have the call made by the official.
Well, that's going to be on number 29, Matt Crisp. Matt Crisp came out and played Lockwood. He's normally a close defenseman. He comes out to play Lockwood, and Lockwood, with the great speed, draws the penalty here just with some nifty moves. Wow, looks like a good check. And the call was made. He must have caught him in the face mask, but that'll be the first extra man for Syracuse.
So Syracuse now has the extra man opportunity.
Look what they're doing. See the far right of your screen?
And a shot and a score by Dom Finn.
Well, meanwhile, I'm watching Colsey, number 17 for Virginia. They do that very often. Woody Moore was cutting off Colsey, and Roy Simmons was ready for this. He knew Virginia likes to cut off a man on the power play. They cut off Colsey, and they went right back. Finn takes a shot from inside, and they beat goalie Ireland for the first goal of the game. The cutoff situation for Virginia was predicted by Simmons. He beats it on the first try.
1 shot, 1 goal, 1-0 Syracuse. Now Virginia historically has been regarded as an underachiever, and this is the first time they've reached the semi since '88. And you wonder if Syracuse jumps to an early substantial lead, whether confidence will be a factor.
They can work both ways. It might loosen them up and let them just play with their ability. No question, they're tight right now. The scrapbook is real thick on the Syracuse side for this game.
Tony Nugent controlled, and they throw it away. An unforced error behind the Syracuse cage, and so Syracuse will get it back, and that's precisely what we talked about.
Timmy Whiteley couldn't handle it. He's a sophomore. the attack back there, sophomores and freshmen. And that's what Stars is counting on.
Hans Schmidt getting it up ahead now to Jim Morrissey. He'll carry it across midfield with the right-hand cradle. Now he holds it low and gets into the box with a shovel pass. Syracuse with a give and go, and it becomes a shot on goal. It gets by Ireland. No backup on the play. So it was a situation, if it was a shot, that...
Well, I think he was trying to hit Paul Sullivan, 21. He was cutting into the crease. He tried to hit Sullivan to catch it with a behind, like a backwards catch, throw it from the side. Didn't catch Sullivan. Ball goes out of bounds.
Marcy applying some pressure. The ride by Syracuse like a full court press, and now Virginia brings it across. The Cavaliers are in the dark uniforms, trying to get some players on now to set up their offense. Syracuse is leading by a 1-0 score.
Starsia wasn't anxious to have a set half-field offense against this great active defense for Syracuse. He wants transition. You heard him talk about it.
Watson fed the crease, and a high-bouncing shot will roll out of bounds in possession still of the Cavaliers. That was taken by Greg Traynor.
Trainor's got the great left hand. You see him cut across with a left-handed feed. Just missed the goal, trying to bounce it up over the shoulder of Rozier. Watch the defense of Syracuse. And, Dave, you've seen them enough to know that they're very, very active normally. They're playing a little bit cautious now, trying to get a sense of the great talent level. They know that this team for Virginia has a great level of talent with the sticks. They don't want to be too anxious early. When they get comfortable, you'll see them be more like the aggressive defense that has played all year.
Now Drew Fox on the dodge against Charlie Lockwood, gives it up. From behind, here's Whiteley, challenged by Chad Smith. Up top they go to Fox. Syracuse very aggressively pursuing him with Lockwood, who's very quick and strong. Virginia still without a legitimate shot on goal. 1-0 Syracuse. Lockwood tried to go over the top of Fox, and now three other white shirts combine, and Rozier picks it up in his crease.
Well, that's what happens when you're an All-American. You get the benefit of the doubt sometimes. Lockwood hammers him in the face, does not get the call.
And here is Lockwood rushing it up into the box. Looks for his left-hand shot, but holds off. Syracuse wants to get some more short sticks on. Here's the weak side shot and a score. They left him free. Eisenberg coming in all alone from the weak side, and he gives Syracuse a 2-0 lead. The defense looked away, never saw him.
Sophomore Brian Eisenberg, tremendous player, came from Adelphi, gets the second goal of the game, and they are on a roll.
Syracuse 2, Virginia 0. We're back after this.
The second goal of the game by Eisenberg, but Lockwood gets his second assist. He gets so much attention, they forget about Eisenberg, who comes in from the side, wide open, no defense, beats Ireland. That's what the three big guns for Syracuse do for you, Dave. They get so much attention, and right now, Virginia's a little bit confused, thinking about matchups and not playing with any comfort level.
Toby Price wins the faceoff. That's the second one he's taken. Don Finn has it checked out of his stick, and back come the Cavaliers.
Anthony Newman is the great long stick player. He made the check and brings it up.
And now Virginia looking for a decent shot. And here it is, and a save by Rozier. And the rebound quickly to Price. On the outlet, here comes Beardsley with it. Syracuse legs it across. They're leading already 2-0. They quickly get it to Donegan.
They look much more comfortable. You could tell on that last series. Starsia calls the timeout, tells them just get back to some basics. Don't worry so much about the mental part. Let your bodies do the work.
Here's Roy Colsey, number 3. Colsey will slow it down as Syracuse sends in another short stick from the far side of the field. Colsey fakes. Colsey stops, loses his footing, shoots from an impossible angle, and he scores. What a shot by Colsey. It's 3-0 Syracuse.
He is unbelievable. This is the big gun on Syracuse. He's a midfielder, but he leads the team with goals, 41. He's got tremendous strength. Look at him concern the defense, gets down on his knee, turns around as if he's going to feed, but fires it low and beats Ireland, who looks very shaky early. Again, Ireland not set, thinking he's not going to shoot from a knee position, and was caught totally off guard.
He fell to his knee, and then he slipped, and as he slipped, he let go of that shot. What an effort by Roy Colsey, and Virginia's in the hole, down 3-0. After only 4 minutes of play.
Starsia has to be concerned that Ireland is so shaky early on. He needs a couple good saves, a couple shots right into his stick to get comfortable.
Don Finn contesting with Tommy Smith, who's from Syracuse, and Nugent comes away with it. Quickly, he feeds Whiteley. Here's Whiteley coming in across the crease. There's the goal. Sean Miller. There was some doubt as to whether he could play or not. The unsettled situation, the gamble, and it results in Virginia's first goal.
It's exactly what Starsia talked about. He needs transition. He needs to use speed. He needs to move the ball. It comes into Whiteley. The sophomore comes in, looks across the crease, fakes like he's going to shoot by looking to the right, hits the backdoor man. It's Miller just parked by himself. Watch the aggressive defense come to the ball, leaving the back door wide open. The aggressive slides will be there all day long for this Virginia offense if they can get some transition like that and move the ball quickly.
Boy, if there was ever one play typical of the way this game will be played, it was that. Syracuse took the gamble. That time it backfired, but they had the 3-0 lead.
And as Stars just said, he needs a little bit of a run. That came from the midfield area that got a little bit of an uncontrolled situation and slides. He needs that situation.
Signer won the faceoff. Lockwood lost it initially. Lockwood loses it again. Nugent after it. Syracuse all over Virginia. They're much more aggressive so far. The ball stays in bounds, and here's Donegan. Donegan taking a couple of hits as he goes behind. Casey getting a lot of early playing time. Now Lockwood, he feeds the crease in a one-time attempt. No good. Good idea, but the ball stays in bounds for Morrissey. Unlike the dome, the ball will not roll out of bounds on the natural grass surface here, which is short but spongy.
Matt Doyle missed that last fan. Beautiful feed, but he just missed it.
Now here comes Donegan back working one-on-one.
Matchups are so key in the game of lacrosse today, Dave. They all try to get away from the great long stick defenseman.
Here's an uncharacteristic behind-the-back pass by Virginia. We have a flag down in a play-on situation. There'll be an infraction called against Syracuse.
Well, a wild swing of the stick before that first feed, I think, is what happened. It could be on Charlie Lockwood. Dom Starsia now a little more comfortable that his team has gotten on their feet. I think he'll feel a little bit better when Ireland gets a couple easy saves. Watch the one-handed swing right there. I think it was before that on the other side of the field, actually, is where the penalty might have happened. The flag was thrown a little bit earlier than that. But an extra man situation for Virginia, only down by 2 now, even though Syracuse really has dominated a very shaky, I think mentally shaky Virginia team, and they're going to get more comfortable every minute of this game.
Fox to Watson to Whiteley. Now they'll come to the near side. David Jones handling it for the first time. The point man is Traynor.
And Dave, and the extra man here, they'll do a lot of different things, but they want a left-handed shot. Driggs, Traynor, they've got the big cannons out front.
They sneak it in, even with a crease. Now they go up top to Traynor, and he can't handle it. It's down the midfield. Colsey ties up his man and takes the ball away. Roy Colsey. And Traynor gets it back.
And
Whittick with the defense. Feeds the crease. The goalie, Rozier, came out to break it up. And he did the job as Chad Smith comes away with it now.
Whittick really gambled. 45 came up to the midfield line, almost got burned.
Here comes Chad Smith. He has 7 goals. He's very capable. A good feed to Colsey for the left hand. And it's wide, but backed up by Syracuse.
You're going to see some acrobatic shots from this man, Roy Colsey. Again, leads the team 41 goals. He has a move that nobody else uses in the game. He runs right into the player, takes away the space, and with his power, gets off a shot.
Colsey runs down the loose ball that again stops shy of the midfield line. Here's Colsey. Didn't use the pick, went in front of it. Now the feed to Donegan. Casey.
Joe Wilson on Casey Donegan.
Switches to the right hand for the pass. Now the dodge attempt from up top. Eisenberg feeds Colsey. Good position and a high hard one.
That rocket shot by Colsey. He's so tough to cover because he's got all the tools. He also feeds very well, number 3 does. He's got great vision, and you'll see him today, I'm sure, feed behind the back. Tremendous accuracy.
Syracuse maintains possession again. They have dominated the offense in this first quarter. Here is Jim Morrissey. Finn was running away out of the box.
Well, they tried to get the Dom Finn, number 26, and Dave, they're trying to cut him off. Short stick.
Now Syracuse moving without the ball well in front of the cage, like a basketball team. Colsey starts his dodge.
Tough matchup.
Throws a double team behind the back feed. Nicely done, but Donegan having trouble scooping it up. Virginia comes away with it, but they overshoot Tommy Smith. And we get a whistle and a flag. It's going to be against Syracuse for a slash.
Well, another slash, Donegan. They've gotten both of their penalties on a riding situation. They're so anxious to get the ball back on the grass surface. They're swinging the sticks wildly. He'll lose the ball, Donegan will, and he just swings the stick, catches the Virginia player in the face mask on the side of the helmet. 2 slashes. This will be the second extra man play for Virginia. The first one did not look so hot. Syracuse turned it away.
Craig Ronald was the man who got the stick to the face mask. Now Virginia looking to move within 1. Again, they rotate the ball clockwise. They feed the crease, and there's Rozier coming up big again. Whittick couldn't get the initial rebound. Chad Smith has it now. His outlet is a little long, but the lead man comes up with it, and that's Whittick. Mike Whittick with a short stick, going left, giving it up. Now the defensive players will head back to their half of the field. Syracuse 3 and Virginia 1. Here's a good defense and a takeaway by the Cavaliers. Now they're in transition, but Jones can't keep the ball and then loses his footing, and back to get it is Fieta. Quickly he gets it down now to Cavavit. The freshman attacker is on. He's the leading assist man for the Syracuse team. He's got the ball now.
What a surprise, number 15 is watch him. He'll be an impact player today, a freshman who really is taking charge of the attack.
The field, for some reason, appears to be slippery. A lot of players going down, losing their footing.
Well, a lot of those players that are going down are Syracuse players, and they do play on a turf surface in the dome.
Nice dodge attempt by Finn, and he scores with the right hand. He faked left, dipped the shoulder, came back right, and Syracuse is now up 4-1 on the goal by Don Finn, his second of the game.
The All-American midfield, the star-studded midfield for Syracuse has had a hand in every goal. They lead 4-1. Lockwood gives it off to Dom Finn. And the first-team All-American will go against Traynor. And a Traynor with a short stick can't match up well, can't get the stick in place, beats him on the fake, and high and hard to beat Ireland. Now 4-1, the 3-goal lead. 2 assists for Lockwood, 1 goal for Colsey, 1 goal for Finn. That first midfield we talked about has to be controlled.
And that fake really froze Traynor. He was certain Finn was going to his left, never moved the stick over in time. Here we go with the face-off again. Signer taking it for Syracuse against Nugent. Virginia's Nugent wins it this time, and he'll leg it toward the box.
Quick correction from me, Dave. Finn has 2 goals. That's the second goal of the game. So that first midfield running almost free.
Watson handles in the corner. He is the freshman. Whiteley is behind the net. Syracuse 4, Virginia 1. Good converging double team, and the loose ball is played by Watson now to Whiteley. Those two have played together for 9 years. Here is Tim Whiteley, one-on-one, and he had it checked away by Chad Smith, but he's going to get it back. They feed the crease. Rozier intercepted the pass. He's out of the cage. Rather uncharacteristic of Alex Rozier, but he has come up big twice now, coming out of the cage. Virginia gets it back. The Cavaliers have great legs in the midfield.
And we'll go back to Timmy Whiteley. He's not big, 5'8", and his counterpart about the same size, Watson. So against the big defensive sticks of Syracuse, that's a tough challenge for these young kids.
Brad Hoyt now handling the ball. The second midfield on. Andrew Deutsch. There's a high shot and goes over everybody, but that is considered a shot. And we asked Roy Simmons how this game will be won.
Well, I think the game can be won in a goal. I think we're going to have to stay out of the penalty box. They've got a vicious attack. They'd love to catch it down a man, and that's the problem for any team. And the goalies have got to come out strong. They've got to be hot. Got to stop the big ones. And we're seeing 2 great goalies here, either end of the field. I think that's key.
And how appropriate, as Roy talked about where the game will be won, Alex Rozier came up with 2 more saves.
Alex Rozier looks like a first-team All-America in this game. He was a little bit of a question mark, only because he hasn't been at this level. He was the best goalie in the Herkimer Junior College Championship last year. He's been a sensational goalie at Herkimer. They didn't lose a game, Dave, in 2 straight years. He said stepping up this level was definitely an adjustment for him, but it looks like he's made the step just fine.
He had to play the high rebound on that first save. He now has 4 in the game. Here's an opportunity for Virginia, and Rozier gets number 5. He has owned the first period. If they had to hand out an MVP right now, he would have it. 5 saves, Alex Rozier. Syracuse leads at 4-1. We're under 5 minutes to go, and that ball is saved. What an effort on the sideline by Cavavit, who ended up on the cinder track.
And Dave, what Virginia's going to have to do is move the ball more. They need 2 or 3 passes to beat Rozier.
Traynor shoots it low. It was blocked by Sean Miller.
Miller had a great screen on the play, but Rozier's too hot. You've got to move the ball like the first goal Virginia scored. Move it 2 or 3 times, go to the back door, get Rozier moving and not focusing on the shot to get the goal. That's what Virginia's got to do. That's been the key to their success all year, moving the ball.
Syracuse has their defenders on the offensive end, and that ball goes out of bounds. Whittick had a lot of operating room as he came upfield, but didn't elect to shoot. 4:11 to go. They put the ball quickly into play. James Ireland has been shaky in the nets. Joe Wilson, number 32 for Virginia. Now they get the ball in the stick of Traynor. Now they give it to David Jones.
David Jones, a great shooter for Virginia, but again, I think right now what they've got to do is get some plays where they can move off the ball and move the ball 2 or 3 times to beat Rozier.
Not much movement by Virginia in front of the cage. Here's a feed to the crease, but an easily handled shot for Rozier. His 6th save off the shot of Watson. His outlet, not handled initially, but a good comeback effort by Price. 7 saves now for Rozier. Beardsley at the midfield line.
And you can see the defense for Syracuse picking up the confidence of Rozier, and they're being more gambling, a little more confident in their slide, saying we're going to double team, we want the ball on the grass, and then we're taking up to our attack.
As Beardsley goes back across, they get it to Colsey, who's coming on. He goes low. Shot was blocked, but Syracuse getting to every loose ball. This is a real clinic that the Orange men are putting on here in the first quarter.
Plenty of time in this game. Virginia just has to stick to what got them here. Get the ball back, a little bit more possessions.
Colsey feeds the crease for an easy goal for Syracuse.
Marcy comes around the left side of the goal, beats Ireland again. He needs a break.
There's a timeout on the field with a score. Syracuse 5, Virginia 1. This is an NCAA Productions telecast.
Fifth goal for Syracuse. The ball starts on the left with Colsey. Look at the attention he's going to get. Crisp is the defenseman to your left lower screen. He will leave Marcy. Here's Marcy coming in. Crisp just glances at him. Then Crisp will slide. He slides too early. Marcy wide open. No defenseman. Colsey gives it up. That's what makes him dangerous. I talked about it. He can shoot so well, but he's got great vision. He doesn't mind giving up the ball. Marcy gets the first goal for the attack, the 5th goal for Syracuse, and the big 3, Dave, have been a factor, assist or goal, in every one of the 5 goals.
That was much too easy in terms of Virginia allowing Syracuse to score that way.
I think Virginia is a little bit too focused on these big 3. They've got to let their athletes play against the Syracuse athletes and balance up a little bit more.
Meanwhile, Syracuse is getting every loose ball, or so it seems. Don Finn has it now in a 5-1 game with 2:40 to go in the first quarter. Roy Colsey and Don Finn.
You see the long sticks now coming out to take Finn and Colsey.
Kalavit, the freshman, played by Nugent.
Absolutely. You've got a short stick midfielder playing on him.
But he did take it away. Kalavit got a little lackadaisical. Now they throw it crossfield as they try to clear. Syracuse staying with them stride for stride and staying onside as well.
So Starr's just seen enough of that big 3 midfield. He's going to put his long stick guys up on them when they're in the game, and he'll put a short stick player on the attack.
Now Whiteley is outside, but he has to wait for his other offensive people to come onto the field. Virginia needs at least a good shot if they're not going to score. And it was knocked down by the defense. That was Hans Schmidt. Here comes Colsey. And the Orangemen have the numbers now as they hustle back. Colsey in the middle. Syracuse maybe overpassed it that time. Donegan draws some defense. Now Donegan feeds the crease. Eisenberg was coming on. He couldn't play it. But again, Syracuse hustled to the ball. Ireland came out of the nets. And the defense clears it upfield. Here's Woody Moore with a head of steam and a shot. And there's Rozier for his 8th save of the first quarter.
Great chance for Moore to make 1 or 2 passes. They really didn't slide to him, so he had the shot to take. But both of the last 2 times that Virginia shot, you've got one guy coming in, getting all the focus of the defense and of Rozier, and no passes. Rozier's been gobbling up those shots. Virginia's going to have to move the ball in the air to get Rozier moving between the pipes if they want a chance to beat him.
The other semifinal matchup has the first-team All-America goalie Scott Bacigalupo and the All-Ivy goalie Jay Stalford. But right now, Alex Rozier is looking like the first-team All-America. 8 saves in the first quarter.
And none for Ireland. Ireland needs one right in the stomach. He needs one to hit him so he can feel a little better about this game.
Finch pass intercepted by Moore. Tries to golf it, but he cannot. And Syracuse will get it back again. 34 seconds to go in this first quarter. That has been all Syracuse.
They start out so fast. Starr's is still worried about his goalie. Ireland's a sensational goalie, had a great year, but they were right in his face early on. The defense maybe let him down. There was a lot of shots right in his face, as I mentioned, and he needs to get comfortable.
Now you watch it live from behind. Great way to see how the slides are performed and how the offense moves. Here's Syracuse feeding it into a crowd. Counted it, the intended man couldn't come away with it. And now back comes Virginia, Matt Crisp.
Big Craig Ronald made the big slide to get this one going.
Now with 5 seconds to go in the first quarter, can Virginia get a shot off?
They're not watching the clock. Woody Moore did not watch the clock, and it expires without a shot. Another mental error.
So that's the end of the first quarter. Alex Rozier with 8 saves. Syracuse has a 5-1 lead over the Virginia Cavaliers. This is game 1 of the national semifinals. A very shaky first quarter for Virginia. They're down 5-1.
And one of the big reasons, Dave, is Rozier for Syracuse. We talked about any team making it to the finals and winning the championship has to have a goalie step up and really play well. Rozier, maybe a little bit of a question mark on this caliber of play. He hasn't been here. He has stepped up and been sensational. He's been almost perfect in this first quarter of play.
Last time Virginia surrendered 5 goals in the first quarter, they eventually lost to Towson State 14-13. That was a home game. Here we are in the second quarter. Syracuse is in white. They have the ball. Casey Donegan, number 1. Now going to the far side. Teams switch directions at the quarter.
I think Virginia's going to have to let their guys play head up with the great 3 and some of these other offensive powerhouses from
Here's
Syracuse.
Lockwood. He goes high, and Ireland comes up with his first save of the game.
He had a chance to look at it. He tracks it, makes a nice save. That's okay. He feels better about it. Here comes the offense.
Chris Briggs, number 9, with a head of steam. He looks to fire. There's Rozier again.
He had a man back door. If that fast break makes one more pass, you beat Rozier. They need to make 1 or 2 more passes.
Syracuse throws across the goal mouth, and it's deflected by Virginia, so the Orange men will keep it. Let's take a look at the statistical story of the first quarter.
And I'd be shocked if they didn't tell the story pretty blatantly, and they do. 8 saves for Syracuse, none for Virginia. The shots, look at Virginia out shooting, but none of those shots of enough quality to beat Rozier, but he was sensational as well. Ground ball, Syracuse eating them up, and that has been key to them having the ball enough times to generate 5 goals.
9 saves in the game for Alex Rozier. Syracuse 5, Virginia 1. Virginia putting the body on near the top of the box. Here's a feed. It gets through 2 men, and then a shot from point-blank range by Paul Sullivan is missed. Virginia has it in the corner.
I think Ireland got a piece of that. He looks much better. Now if the offense can get on track, and I think back to the passing, they have to make the 2 or 3 passes. Rozier is just too hot.
Mark Dixon cleared it. Now Virginia trying to come in. Rozier left the cage, and they took the ball away, but Lockwood lost it. What's the call? Do we have a man step in the crease? Call goes against Syracuse.
Nice job of Virginia to bring that ball in and really protect it. You see him come in and just Doug Knight is just covering the ball so that Hans Schmidt can't get it, but it drops out of his stick. Rozier watched it all the way.
Here's Drew Fox switching from left to right, sending it back to Traynor. Starts his dodge. Well, let's correct that. That's not Traynor. That's
Driggs.
Or is it Driggs?
You know, it's hard to tell.
Yep. Watson, we know, is now number 4.
The 8 and the 9 is hard to tell from up here. We are very far away from the field.
We know this is Fox going right. He draws the double and thinks the better of it.
Now somebody's open. You've got a double slide. Somebody's open. You've got to move the ball. Here it comes.
And they score. Watson, as he was slipping, perhaps he went high on Rozier. And Virginia gets their second goal of the game. That's the freshman Michael Watson, his 26th score of the year.
This is where I thought Virginia had a chance to beat. Watch the slide come out. It's Smith coming way out now. They move the ball. He's out of 2 guys up there on the ball. Now the ball moves. Somebody's open. He's down to the right. They find him. Defense slides a little too fast. They duck underneath, and Rozier unsettled. Easy goal. It looked so easy when they moved the ball. That time they drew the double-teaming Syracuse defense and moved it twice, got the goal. They're not that far out of it. You know, of all the dominance the Syracuse had in the first quarter, they only have a 3-goal lead. Ireland looks better, and now on the negative side for Syracuse, they're going to be tough to coach. When you have that kind of a dominating first quarter, you don't like to listen to too much your coaches say because you feel like you're the superior team, and they've got a long way to go in this one.
Well, Price was right again on the faceoff as he won it from Nugent. Here comes Colsey starting his dodge, draws the double, sends it where? Deflected off a Virginia player. Syracuse keeps it.
Woody Moore, short stick, number 17 on him. Now he switches. He wants a long pole to go on Colsey.
Eisenberg playing it off the turf, or at least trying to. He's put down, and there's a call that will
push
be
call.
a push.
Yeah, Woody Moore behind him. Kind of a tough call. Kind of call you wouldn't be blamed if you made it or didn't make it. He was on his back. Dom Finn against the long pole.
There's Finn. He's got two already. Two men in the crease. Eisenberg for the rebound. Did somebody step in the crease?
I think Finn may have slipped in on that slide, and they'll give the ball to Virginia.
Let's hear more from Dom Starsia. We asked him before the game how his team would feel if they had to come from behind.
Well, we're a little bit more we're considerably more conservative team defensively than Syracuse is, but we also are conservative in general, I would say. But we have a couple things that we like to do at the end of the game if we need to try to get the ball back, and we've had some success with that. You know, it's a mode that we're not completely comfortable in, but we will ride people. We'll do it early in the game, but we're comfortable in doing that. Our goalie is very athletic. We can bring him out of the cage to help us out some. So we have a couple things that we can do if we need to try to get the ball back ourselves.
Virginia trying the quick stick goal in front. Unsuccessful. They're trailing 5-2. It's not the end of the game, Leaf, so they do have a lot of time left. But they've had to step it up a little bit defensively.
Well, the story for Virginia, quite frankly, is just getting comfortable with this game, getting comfortable with Syracuse, and I think they've accomplished that. Now they can play their game.
However, that time they lost the ball as Michael Vaughn had it taken away. Toby Price has a man in the midfield area, and he got it to him, but he lost it. That was Christian Fotopoulos with a big stick. Now we get a whistle as Virginia heads toward the offensive end. They take a timeout to try to set up to get a quality shot on Rozier.
Last time they had the ball, they went back to that one-on-one style, Dave. We've seen that so far. That just does not work against Syracuse. They are not going to beat the physically better Syracuse team. They need to move the ball. That's probably what Starsia is talking about right now.
So we have a timeout with Syracuse leading Virginia 5-2 in the national semifinal.
Syracuse has been dominating with defense like this. Christian Fotopoulos, number 27, the long stick midfielder, comes in, wrap check, ball loose. They want the ball on the ground. Syracuse is a run and gun team. They like the white ball in the grass.
And the team in the blue jerseys has it. They can't get a good shot away. Syracuse comes away with it again. Whittick trying to run it down. He vacuums it up, and here he comes with a full head of steam. Going to the right hand. He doesn't like to shoot. He'll give it up and then head back.
Chad Smith, long stick, close defender, still on the offensive end of the field. He goes back. Chad Smith is wide open up front. If they find him, back door.
Donegan spotted a man open on the right, didn't throw it his way. Now Donegan holds it as the big sticks head back.
So for almost 45 seconds, the two long stick close defensemen were down there playing offense.
Syracuse is a 5-2 lead, but momentum can change rapidly in this game of lacrosse. Here's Don Finn on. He's got two Syracuse goals. He'll start his dodge against Tommy Smith. Gets free on the right hand, goes back to the left.
And he gets doubled. Who's going to be open? They have to read the double better. Back door, somebody's open behind the goal. Waiting for it as Donegan doesn't get it.
Colsey feeds Jim Morrissey, number 8. Back to Finn. Morrissey again. Syracuse with a tradition of domination from the midfield. A lot of teams do their scoring up the attack. Syracuse has had the great midfields in the last decade. They won the championship a year ago right here on the same field at Byrd Stadium, University of Maryland. And what a perfect day we have as Donegan and Syracuse control. There's Eisenberg now. Unusual to see Syracuse hold the ball this long without a shot. Here comes Finn against Smith. A slip by Finn. He pops up with it. Finn beats Smith. Finn switches hands and scores. What an effort by Don Finn, as in finisher. That time it was spectacular. His third goal of the first half.
And what Finn does so well is he hides his shot. Watch the quickness that gets him in position to take the shot. He wraps the stick behind his body and just cranks it using his full force of the upper body. Top pipe. Again, against the big defensive stick. He'll roll the stick back, hide the shot, high and hard to beat Ireland. When you get in that tight, tough to make the save on a shot that's probably close to 90 miles an hour. Dom Finn, third goal, and this one was unassisted.
And it is a 6-2 lead. Tommy Smith stayed with him, and then Finn, perhaps because of his diminutive stature, was able to duck under, get through, and get the shot away.
He's very strong, and he's used to going one-on-one against those long sticks.
Look at that play. Virginia comes away with it, but just momentarily. Kavovit goes down. Syracuse gets to the loose ball again. That was Signer, who was the Junior College Player of the Year at Herkimer in '93, but a push was called, and the ball will go over to Virginia.
Signor's a great story. Kid didn't lose a game 2 years at Herkimer. Was the best player in junior college play. Comes to Syracuse and is playing a role here, riding the bench a lot.
Whiteley feeds. Syracuse right on the receiving man. Now Nugent has a number 2. Lockwood will play him. Nugent trying to switch directions. Lockwood with a wrap check. That's going to be a penalty.
And the slide could have drawn a penalty as well, but the flag was already down. You see Syracuse has had 3 penalties now. Lockwood again with the wrap check. Comes around, catches Virginia player underneath the neck. A little contact with the helmet. If he pulls that a little bit shorter and comes back, he doesn't get the call, but that was complete enough that he'll spend 30 seconds for holding in the box.
So an extra man opportunity now for the Cavaliers.
First time Syracuse blocked it down from they tried to pass to the middle. The second time they tried to feed the middle and didn't get it.
Watson feeds on the diagonal for the shot. Rozier got a piece of it. Syracuse gets the rebound. Beardsley loves to display that stick work. Look at that pass up the midfield. Behind the back, he went to Winnick. Winnick over his shoulder to Chad Smith. Chad Smith thought he was going to give and go back to Winnick, who ran to the cage. This is Mark Fietta, number 9, loses the ball. The outlet. Mishandled by Virginia. Syracuse takes it back. Kavovit. Now to Morrissey. Morrissey in close. There's an easy shot, and he blew it.
Ireland did a great job of coming out and making contact as soon as he knew that Winnick was going to be one-on-one with him. Good play by Ireland, but overall, the team of Virginia a little bit sloppy with their ball handling. They've got great stick skills. I think they're still a little bit stunned with the great ability of the Syracuse team.
Well, we told you earlier, Winnick doesn't really look to shoot. And that time he wanted it, and he was really upset that he missed a wide-open cage.
And Ireland did well to come out and give him added pressure by coming out and making the check.
Little lapses of concentration by Virginia. Unforced errors, dropping passes in the open field. It's got to be a sign of nerves. Drew Fox got the ball back. Now from behind, it's Whiteley. He goes way outside the Trainer.
Trainer took the last shot on the extra man play. He was well outside, just as he is now. He's got the great left hand, but he's got to move it in a little tighter.
Pace slows down for a minute. We have 7:10 to go in the first half. High shot, not a good one, off the stick of Driggs. 6-2, Syracuse's lead.
There's Rozier. He's the man of the hour. He has been sensational in the goal for Syracuse today. Timmy Whiteley is the quarterback of that team, and he draws a penalty from Smith.
Give and go, and Jones couldn't handle it, but there's a flag down. Slashing call, so Syracuse giving Virginia the opportunities. Chad Smith, as he heads off, what an incredible story. Last November, he started suffering headaches, and it was later discovered that he had a sinus infection that had led to an abscess in his forehead. He underwent surgery, the forehead bone removed. Later, he had to have a sinus removed. He was in very, very critical shape and was only cleared to play lacrosse at the start of the season. He has come back, and here he is in the national semifinal.
Hours from death, and he comes back. It is a great story. Now they are man down. Penalty on Chad Smith.
Sean Miller's on. He's number 3. He's wearing the knee brace. What a shot that was! That caught the goalie Rozier by surprise.
David Jones
on the board. It's a 6-3 score as David Jones connects for the Cavaliers.
Syracuse gets their third goal. Miller starts it. The ball moves twice with a great pass work, and then the rocket shot down low by David Jones beats Rozier. Every time they move the ball, Dave, they get a good shot, and they've gotten their 3 goals. They've been turned back by Rozier every time they try to go one-on-one, give him a chance to read the shot. The secret to their success, I've said it too much already, is that they move the ball well during the season. They get a lot of goals. When they do it today, they're successful. They're 3 down now.
See who Virginia's trying out there on the faceoff. This time they sent out Brian Birch, and Birch controls it. His pass, however, is knocked down by Fietta. Birch trying to get it back, and he does. And as he gets it back, we have a timeout taken by Virginia.
Possession timeout. Stars are called a timeout to maintain possession. He wants to get another shot with 6 minutes left.
And we'll be right back after these messages. This is an NCAA Productions telecast. This telecast is presented by authority of the NCAA. Any use of this program without written consent is prohibited. The announcers for this program have been approved and contracted by NCAA Productions. Virginia has the ball, trying to generate some momentum. They have not scored consecutive goals in this game. They're down 6-3.
This is a good matchup. David Jones, the great shooter from St. Mary's, he got the last goal, and Stars have set up a little bit of a one-on-one. Jones against the short stick.
And Rozier just came up with his 11th save of the game. Now Syracuse looks to get back in the scoring column. They work the ball well, and they misfire from a tough angle against James Ireland.
Well, that was a shot the attackman will think about for a long time. He simply missed the 36 square feet. Good ball movement again, and the sliding defense for Virginia left somebody open. Cavalvit, the freshman, missed high.
So Syracuse has missed a couple of opportunities here in the second quarter. Now Charlie Lockwood into his galloping mode, and he fires and misses. 5:45 to go in the half.
Interesting slide to start with a short stick, and Charlie Lockwood got picked up by a long stick defender halfway through his run.
Ball in the stick of Cavalvit. Nice spin move to get away from the D. He feeds across the cage for the goal from the weak side for Casey Donegan. So Syracuse has the answer again after a Virginia score, and now it's 7-3.
Well, Traynor was the short stick on Cavalvit. A lot of the defense is looking to help. Wilson took his eye off his man, Donegan, and was looking to help on the short stick guy. Here is Wilson looking at 16, trying to help against this guy, Cavalvit. And meanwhile, his man, Donegan, slides backdoor. Cavalvit, with the great vision, gets the assist. Easy backdoor goal against Ireland, who's having a real good second quarter.
Now they send Nugent back out to take the faceoff. Brian Birch took the last one and won it. He's won 16 of 17 on the year, but they send Nugent out again to take the face, and Nugent does the job, although Syracuse may yet come away with the ball, and they do. And Roy Colsey has it. Colsey draws 2 men, and they take him down and take it away. Nice job by Virginia, but Syracuse hustles to get the loose ball back again.
Finn, Lockwood, Colsey on the field together for one of the few times today.
Now Syracuse sends it behind. Donegan's had a fine game. Cavalvit with a fake. Cavalvit.
He's been a great surprise, Dave, this Cavalvit has. He's a very heady player as a freshman. He really has taken over and is the thinker, the quarterback down there, even as a freshman.
Roy Colsey's shot saved initially, and then it dribbles in. Ireland got the stick on it, but Colsey had enough to make it an 8-3 game, and this now is Syracuse's biggest lead of the contest.
Colsey's got strength and speed. He just takes one step, blows by the defense. It goes low, and I think the save was made initially stick and foot. And the top spin of that ball just rolled it into the goal after the initial block was made by Ireland. Colsey, 2 goals, 1 assist in only the first half of play today.
Syracuse leads Virginia 8-3. And Driggs on the faceoff feeds Watson. The freshman elected not to shoot. Miller had it. Now Driggs. Now Traynor, as the goalie was caught completely out of the cage. Syracuse's defense tried to hustle back to make the save. They could not.
This is such a key to Virginia, and I've been pushing it since the first quarter, but it's true. If you keep moving the ball, look how aggressive the defense is. Everybody's sliding. They start getting out of position. Now the goalie's out. He must make one more pass. Easy shot and a goal. Good ball movement. The key to that, again, Trainer. Great left-handed shooter for Virginia, but moving the ball against the fast sliding defense of Syracuse gives them their 4th goal. Rozier, no chance to save it after he made that gambling move to go out and get it.
It's almost like Syracuse, once they get a lead of 4 or 5 goals, saying, oh, we can afford to take a gamble, and that time Virginia cashed in. That's the second time in the game that's happened.
Well, that's one thing you can predictably say. You know they're going to be a little bit aggressive. You know they're going to slide, and you can take advantage of that, but you have to move the ball. I'm surprised of the times that Virginia goes ahead and takes the one-on-one.
Trainer and Rozier got a piece of that one for yet another save. But at no time in the game has Virginia scored consecutive goals. Now Chad Smith defending on Tim Whiteley. Oh, he hung the stick, and Smith took it away. Here comes Eisenberg.
Now it's
Let's
Colsey.
check that. It's Colsey now.
Just about runs over David Jones.
And he shoots, and there's Ireland going low to grab it. Now the outlet and transition for Virginia, something we haven't seen too much of today. Tommy Smith, the defensive man. Watson rifles one that's heading to the seats.
And Whiteley is holding up his arms and saying, come on, I'm wide open. Again, they take the shot on the first pass. Meanwhile, Whiteley is parked on the left side of the goal, waiting for the feed. An easy backdoor shot against Rozier. Syracuse again dodges a bullet because Virginia has reluctance to move the ball on the offensive end of the field.
Syracuse, in the meantime, is taking a timeout now with 3:43 to go in the half.
See, Watson will get it to the right of your screen. Whiteley's standing there. Rozier sees this all the way, and of course it's high. It doesn't even matter. Meanwhile, Whiteley is parked to the left of Rozier. You can see Rozier leaning to the pipe, knowing that there was a wide open man to his left. Starja now talking to his guys, knowing that 4 goals down, you're still in the game a little bit. If it's 5 and more, you're in big, big trouble. Watch Whiteley right here. Ball goes over. Smith leaves him. He's wide open. He takes the shot. Watson does. Leaves Whiteley by himself. And the easier shot is ignored. Watson misses the whole cage. Watson, the freshman, played with Whiteley at St. Paul's here in Maryland. They played together through the juniors. They played for about 9 years together. And here's Timmy Whiteley right now. Mitch Whiteley, his dad, was a goalie at Dartmouth and his coach at St. Paul's. And he was highly recruited coming out of high school.
Leaf, as you check the Virginia roster for the NCAA tournament, the 32 players, there is not a single Virginia native on this roster yet. On the other teams in this tournament, in this semifinal, there are several great players who hail from the state of Virginia.
Virginia draws a lot, historically has drawn a lot of their great talent from the Maryland area. You know, there's a hotbed of talent right here in the high school programs in Baltimore, and in Long Island there is, in upstate New York, of course. But they usually get their big guys from Baltimore. Starja now wants to pick a few more guys from upstate New York and Long Island. He says he has to make his team a little bit tougher. He wants a harder-nosed brand of ball.
I guess he says the Maryland player is more a finesse player. The folks from up north are the rougher, tougher guys, right?
Exactly. He wants to go toe-to-toe with teams like Syracuse. Of course, there is no other team like Syracuse.
Here's Virginia back on the attack, down 8-4. Whiteley feeds. Tough angle for the shot. That ball will roll out of bounds, but stay in the Cavaliers' end of the field.
Andrew Dosh makes the cut. He didn't get it cleanly. If he got it cleanly initially, he had an angle. Once he got it into his stick, he had no angle. Took the shot anyway. And that's more of the play for Whiteley. Whiteley will distribute the ball. Moments ago, you saw him go one-on-one. That's really not Whiteley's style. He's more of a team leader back there and a distributor of offense.
Drew Fox outside, number 21, trying to beat Fietta to a spot on the field. Here's Watson, number 4, the feeder. Not handled. And loose behind the cage, picked up again. Carelessly thrown, but gathered in by Fox. His shot hit the side of the cage. Rozier picks it up, not a save. And a bad outlet pass by Rozier over the head of the Syracuse defender, Hans Schmidt.
You know, it's funny, and Rozier, to read the book on him, he's a great outlet pass goalie. He usually stays between the pipes and has a great outlet pass. Today, he's been great between the pipes, but has come out a lot, and his outlets have been a little bit weak.
Virginia with Watson again, handling it on the sideline.
Big mistake, Dave, last time. They double-teamed Syracuse did the last time Virginia had the ball moments ago, and Virginia did not follow in to get anybody open. Nobody was open after the white shirts were behind the goal.
Boyd on the dodge, passed it off instead, and the bounce shot beats Rozier.
They move the ball once. Rozier has to get reset. A hard shot. We talked about the low shots being a little bit more difficult for Rozier. Early on, he's been making a lot of blocks with his body, but this one bounces in and finds the pipe just underneath on the high bounce. Here it is again. Rozier resets. High, hard bounce on that tough turf. And 8-5 is a ball game. We're back in this thing.
And it was Drew Fox who got the goal for the Cavaliers, who now, for the first time in the afternoon, have scored consecutive goals. Set to take the face. Driggs is out now against Sidner for Syracuse. Driggs wins it rather easily. Virginia looking to put a 3 spot up on the board.
Let's see how much movement they get out of this offense. Again, the big left-handed shooters, that was there, number 16, Trainer, and Driggs, number 9. And Jones coming on. They've got a lot of shooters on the field, Virginia does.
Colsey on defense. Here's a shot and a score by David Jones. He went to the upper right-hand corner. 3 straight by the Cavaliers. We've got a new game. It's 8-6.
And this team feels comfortable. The danger of going out to that fast lead like Syracuse does is that you become a little bit uncoachable and comfortable. Now Virginia comes back, and they're a little bit flat-footed. The Syracuse team is. Rozier gets beat high. Early on, you couldn't beat him high. Now he's getting a little unsettled. The tide has turned. Ireland looks more comfortable. Rozier gets a little bit rattled, and Virginia goes on a roll.
And Syracuse forced to call another timeout with 2:02 to go in the half. They completely dominated the first quarter. Now it is an 8-6 game after 2 goals in 22 seconds and 3 in a row by the Cavaliers. And Casey Donegan trying to tell his defense and goalie, don't sweat it, we'll get some back for you.
And this is why I talked about the coaching thing. It becomes difficult. Your players can start off so strong, they feel like they really can take charge. They're much better. And now Simmons has to talk to his team at Syracuse and get them refocused. Meanwhile, Starge's guys feel like the weight of the world's been lifted off of them. They are comfortable. They weren't sure what was going to happen in the first quarter, but now they have their offense going. They're moving the ball well. They're shooting the shots that they like to shoot. That high shot by Jones is something that he's been working on. They move the ball once or twice, and he knows the shots that really work for him. Rozier looks a little bit unsettled, and that would be a big problem for Simmons because Rozier's going to be the guy the whole game. There's nobody behind Rozier that's going to come into this game.
So Syracuse has called their second timeout in this first half. They had a 5-goal lead, which was their biggest of the half, and now in the last 2.5 minutes, Virginia has scored 3 times. Driggs will be out to face off again for the Cavaliers. They've used 3 different face-off men. Nugent, Birch once, Driggs. Syracuse has Toby Price back out. He began the game.
Woody Moore and Tommy Smith on the wings for Virginia.
A little bit of a movement and a violation. Offsetting? Yes.
Referee wants to reset it. Ball just lies on the field. You can see both sticks move.
Oh, that time no call, and Price ends up winning the faceoff by default.
And the referee normally blows the whistle very soon after he sets the players. This time he's hesitating. They both move. Then he blows the whistle.
Finn gives it up. Here comes Roy Colsey. Colsey, I think, wants to break the momentum that Virginia has by himself. Finn feeds the crease. Oh, a save. Donegan will run it down. That shot taken by Morrissey. Point blank range.
Morrissey had a shot that could have found the net, but he just wrapped it around the pipe a little bit wide, about 2 inches to the left.
Syracuse in their 12th straight semifinal. Virginia in for the first time since '88. Don Finn, how did he get through the crowd? The rebound put in. No goal. No goal. There was a man in the crease, and they're pointing to Donegan.
They're saying Donegan was in the crease, but great follow-up. You know, these days, these goalies don't control the ball out because of the velocity of the shot. You get a lot of block shots, a lot of second shots. Ireland comes in, gets a piece of it. It's on the ground right there. Kapovic comes in, scoops up, takes it in. But the call was on Donegan being in the crease. I didn't even see him in the play, as a matter of fact.
Actually, I think they said Finn was the man who ended up in the crease.
All right, Finn was it, number 26.
But Virginia throws the ball away with 1 minute and 7 seconds to go. So Syracuse will have another chance. You can sense the Orangemen want to get a goal now to give them not only the 3-goal cushion, but to take away the momentum Virginia has captured. Rozier well out of the cage to the midfield line to Colsey. Colsey on the give to Lockwood. Lockwood dodges right. He will fire, and a save by Ireland. He had the read on that one. The outlet pass intercepted by Colsey. All sorts of men in front, and they can't get the pass there. Syracuse had 3 men in front with no defense, and Colsey slipped down. Ireland intercepts it with 38 to go, and he cheaps it out downfield where Beardsley pulls it in. Beardsley is ridden by Watson, and that will create an extra man situation for Syracuse.
Great heads-up play at both ends of the field. Lockwood with a lazy pass behind, intercepted by Ireland. And then Watson at 5'9", 165 pounds, the freshman, just takes a ride on Beardsley. Here's Watson, makes the check, and just locks the stick in. 165 pounds, just rides for a little while.
Can I go for a ride, please? Syracuse now will have the extra man opportunity, only their second of the game. They connected the first time. So Virginia has stayed out of the penalty situation. And now with 25 to go in the half, Syracuse has the advantage right in front. And the ball is blooped out of bounds. Who's got it?
Great check by Ireland. Again, they were shutting off one man in the midfield on the extra man. The defense, even though they're a man down for Virginia, came out and just cut off one of those offensive players for Syracuse. That confused them for the moment, and then Ireland came out and made the check, playing as a player, a field player. Ball goes out of bounds. Starsia likes to do that, and Dave Hill do that 10-man ride, who involve Ireland in the rides a lot. We've seen it already, where he'll come out and make the big check. None more important than this last one he made, because they were, of course, a man down.
Syracuse touched it last. We have 13 seconds to go in the half. Virginia with a chance to cut it to 1 at halftime.
John Desko, longtime assistant for Roy Simmons Jr.
This game, this sport is much more technical than it appears. And they beat the clock. They will not get a shot.
And they had one, believe me. Driggs had the shot of his life right there. He was wide open in front, couldn't collect it. He was so anxious to crank it up, he didn't pull the ball down. 1
second to go in the half as the flags came flying in. Virginia had an opportunity. They had the ball right in the slot.
They could have pulled it to within 1. Again, just so anxious to shoot it. I think it was Driggs, number 9, just didn't pull the thing down. Might be a penalty against Syracuse, it looks like, which means with 1 second left, it is a slashing. And Fotopoulos goes in the box. Now what you'll do is they'll hold on to the ball, because if you have possession when the quarter ends, you start the next quarter with possession. No face-off necessary.
So you don't want to take an ill-advised shot.
If you throw it from one guy to the next, the ball's in midair, that means you face it off next time. So they will not make a pass here.
And there it is. Time runs out. And that is the end of the first half here at College Park, Maryland, the NCAA Semifinal Game 1. Syracuse 8, Virginia 6. We're back with you at Byrd Stadium on the campus of the University of Maryland. We've reached the half of semifinal game number 1. Syracuse had the early lead 5-1 after a quarter, and Virginia found their stride in the second quarter to make this an 8-6 game and affect anybody's game at the half. Working with me today, Leif Elsmo, and Leif, it took Virginia a while to get their game legs and maybe to shake the butterflies, but they're in the game now.
Well, Syracuse definitely, everybody knew that. They've been here so many times. They have the reputation. They have the walk and the talk. And Virginia came in here with a great year behind them, but they really have a history of never making it past this level, not since 1972. They've been in the finals once, but really haven't pulled down the big crown. So they were tight the first quarter, but then they found their game, and when they move the ball, they do very well. To be only within 2 goals of the Syracuse team, the way Syracuse has really had things pretty easy in the first half, I think Virginia's in a pretty good position to correct some things in their game and give Syracuse everything they can handle.
The interesting thing about this sport of lacrosse is a goalie can look just awful for a certain portion of the game and then all of a sudden get his confidence and be very intuitive about shots and just turn it around completely.
And Rozier was that kind of goalie. He started off very, very hot and has had some troubles in the second quarter.
It's a 2-goal game. Syracuse leads at the half. Back with you at College Park, Maryland, halftime of NCAA semifinal game number 1, with Syracuse leading Virginia by a score of 8-6. I'm Dave Cohen, and joining me now from the NCAA office is Phil Buttafuoco. And Phil, we're here at College Park, Maryland, and this has got to be an 11 on a 10 scale, the kind of day and the atmosphere that we have for these national semifinals as well as the Division III national championship.
Well, Dave, it's certainly exciting, and it's a great day weather-wise, but it's a great day spectator-wise as well. We have people here from about 32 states around the country that bought tickets in advance, and it's just a real exciting weekend for lacrosse and college lacrosse in general.
We have the 25th anniversary of the NCAA Lacrosse Championships coming up next year right here, and what activities are planned for that?
Well, that's right. The 25th anniversary of the NCAA Lacrosse Championships will be here at College Park next year, same weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and we are planning some great festivities that I know the spectators will enjoy, as well as all the teams that have won championships since 1971 when Cornell beat Maryland at Hofstra back in 71, as I said.
So plans should be made right now for next year, Memorial Day weekend, the 25th anniversary. Phil, we look forward to coming back here and being with you again next year at this major event.
Thanks, Dave. It's going to be real exciting. We hope everyone out there watching makes plans to come to College Park next year.
We'll be back with more of the NCAA Lacrosse Championships right after this. Well, it didn't look like much of a contest after one quarter. Syracuse led Virginia by a 5-1 score, but Lee Felsmo, now it is a game, 8-6 Syracuse over Virginia at the half.
No, it really is, and Virginia has had a whole half to get even more comfortable. Talk about some things that worked for them in the first half, and that was ball movement, getting some of those little guys on attack to get the pass going and beat Rozier on the backside. He was so tough when he could read you, and now he's a little shaky.
Well, Rozier had all the saves going his way in the first quarter, but he was also getting some excellent support from his offense. Look at this effort by Roy Colsey of Syracuse. He'll get knocked down, and then he'll slide and fall to the ground and get the shot away.
Well, Colsey just took over that first midfield of Lockwood, Colsey, and Finn. Look at that. They dominated early on, and Colsey, when they thought he couldn't shoot at all, takes that shot to beat Ireland and got Ireland totally off track. Ireland was not in the game for most of that first quarter, but he certainly is now. Had a great second.
Virginia didn't pass the ball well to set up scoring opportunities for most of the first half, but then they corrected that.
Well, they really did, and one of their young guys, Michael Watson, number 4, he's a freshman, but he's got a great shot. Here he comes in, looks to feed, beats the sliding defense, tucks the stick, and takes Rozier one-on-one. It's that kind of move that really shows you the good quickness of the small but effective attack for Virginia. They need to involve everybody, and they need to move the ball.
A lot of similarities between those two efforts by Colsey and Watson. Shooting while falling down. Tremendous athletic ability by these lacrosse players.
Well, and this second half should be everything we hoped it would be. 8-6. It's back to a ball game. Syracuse has to go back to the drawing board and pull from the big guns like they did in the first quarter.
We're coming back right after this.
Here's looking at you. Fire now. The Syracuse leads over Rochester 2-0 through 2/3 of the game. It has been a pitching battle all the way. We have seen, let's see, 17 strikeouts in the game through 6 innings. Bob Didier and Syracuse Cuse have run up 10 of them. Scott Colwell will be the batter for Rochester top of the second.
It's an 8-6 lead for Syracuse at the half. They've been led in scoring by Dom Finn, who has 3 goals, Roy Colsey with 2, and David Jones with a pair of goals for Virginia. Here is the halftime team statistics.
And you can see the shots surprisingly in Virginia's favor, 26-18. They've got to get some better shots to beat Rozier. They started doing that in the second quarter. Saves, big day for Rozier so far. He has been the man of the hour. And ground balls being won by Syracuse. On the clears, no real factor in the game so far. And we've got a lot of penalties from the Syracuse side, 5 against only 2 for Virginia. Virginia's got to stay up on that power play and take advantage of those flagrant fouls for the Syracuse team, and they'll get a chance to do that right here.
Right, the first half ended after Syracuse took a late slash, so Virginia begins with a man up, looking to cut the deficit down to 1. Trainer, Greg Trainer, number 16, fake left, went right. Here's Jones, number 1, now he gets it back. And Trainer up top again. Virginia's in the dark jerseys. David Jones, and the save made by Rozier of Syracuse. So he starts out strong in that department.
Not a great shot for an extra man shot. Jones looking right at Rozier, and Rozier picks it up cleanly. Faceoff's dead even.
Rob Kapovic had 1 assist in the first half. Now from behind, Syracuse works.
This Virginia defense has been such a proud unit throughout the year. I think they really enjoyed that halftime just to kind of regroup, come out now a little more confident of what they might be able to do against Syracuse.
Charlie Lockwood without a goal in the first half. He fakes right, draws the double, feeds Eagle with a crease, and that was a tough angle shot. Ireland didn't have to save it. It hit the side of the cage. Here comes Jones, intercepted, but last touch by Syracuse.
Bounces right off of Mark Fietta's stick. Fietta, a great player with really tremendous talent, but playing in the shadows of 3 great All-Americans. Now next year, because he'll be back, Fietta, may be his year to shine.
Virginia plays the bounce pass on the far side into the middle of the field. And now Trainer, he took a hard shot. The ball comes loose. Syracuse with an opportunity to come away with it. And now they do, but we'll have a call.
Well, Whittick with a wrap check started things off. Got the ball on the ground. That's what they wanted for Syracuse. But the push call will give it back. Loose ball push gives the ball back to Virginia. When he makes this wrap check, you'll see a little push from behind. Push call gives it back to UVA.
So Virginia maintaining possession of the ball much more in the second quarter. Now the early stages of the third. That shot an errant one by David Jones, who has 2 of the Virginia goals.
And again, they're not anxious to move the ball. I don't know what the philosophy is for the offense, but they again look more like a one-on-one philosophy, which hasn't been successful yet. They've been very successful with a little bit of ball movement.
Greg Trainer carries it way outside to initiate the offense up top. And here he comes. He's got some room in the middle. They've cleared it out for him. And he'll still maintain control of the ball. Now he finally gives it up. Is that Briggs or Dosh?
I believe that's Driggs, again, the lefty.
And he goes low. The ricochet played out of the air by Wittick. And Wittick leaves it behind. Now upfield, overthrowing Toby Price, but saved inbounds. Terrific job by Kavovit. Knocked out of his stick, however. And on the turnover, Matt Crisp gets the ball back for Virginia.
Great job by Crisp to come over strong, and a quick stick check just knocked the ball. Kavovit was watching the sideline, dancing on it to make sure he stayed in bounds. Kavovit, just watch. He'll look down, he'll dance along the sideline, unaware of Matt Crisp. Crisp goes right to the stick, puts it out of bounds, and they get the ball back.
Kavovit was trying to stay in bounds as momentum was carrying him toward the sideline, and you're right about that. He was totally unaware of the onrushing defender. Now Ireland comes way out against the Syracuse half-field right, and there's a spot in the middle of the defense for Virginia. Save Rozier, rebound right in front, taken down by his defense.
They continue to go high on Rozier, and he stands so tall in there. He plays the high shots much better than low shots.
Chad Smith looks like he wanted to crank it. Now he'll back it off. He'll throw to Kavovit.
Chad Smith, not a bad shooter. With 33%, 7 goals and 21 shots.
3 minutes gone by just about here in the third quarter, and neither team has scored. It's an 8-6 Syracuse lead.
Lockwood begging for the ball behind the goal. Lockwood is parked behind the goal, and he was yelling at the attack players because he wanted it initially.
Casey Donegan goes to Kavovit from back there, guarded by Dosh. Fietta was open up high. Morrissey's in the slot. Kavovit careless. They take it away from him.
Dosh had the great rat check a la Syracuse and put the ball back down.
Now here comes Greg Ronald. Up ahead quickly to Woody Moore. Virginia trying to get within one. Moore gets a ride from Fietta. Comes all the way in, but he was in the crease. He was in the crease when that shot was attempted. And I believe that will wipe out any goal.
Well, the ball didn't go in the goal anyway. It came back about 5 yards, so they rejected the shot. It didn't go in, but good speed Woody Moore does. He gets inside position on Fietta. Now he knows he has to launch himself into the cylinder. If the ball does get by Rozier before he hits the ground, that goal would count. He leaves the air at the ground. If the ball goes in the net before he lands, it's good. You saw it rejected by Rozier first, and then Woody gets into the crease.
However, there was a call against Syracuse, a push on Fietta, I believe.
Right, must have been because he was riding him from behind. He had no way to play position against Woody.
Virginia with a man up. They're 1 out of 5. This is a big one now. Miller gets it back. He's played sparingly. Virginia hasn't had very many high percentage shots in the man up. Drew Fox, Trainer. Watson and Trainer again. Miller.
The book from Virginia's standpoint must be to go high on Rozier, but you've seen how unsuccessful it's been.
Score by David Jones.
But when they go low, it seems to pay dividends.
And Rozier appeared to be unhappy with his defense that time. It is a one-goal game. We're coming back to College Park right after this.
David Jones, the junior from St. Mary's School in Davidsonville, Maryland, right down the pike here, gets his second straight goal, third of the game, fires it low, and gets the goal against Rozier. Rozier comes right out and talks to his defense, a little upset, and I think more about the defense possibly, or maybe that shot. I'll take that back, because that shot, if you think about it, Dave, was a shot he was saving all throughout the game. And that time, he just didn't quite pick it up. The stick was there and everything. So, 8-7, we're back into a dogfight.
Roy Colsey with it after Toby Price won the face-off. Face-off get-off for Toby Price. Syracuse has not scored a goal in about 9 minutes of this game. It is 8-7 Virginia. Now Syracuse looking to really answer back and break the momentum. Dom Finn has it.
One-goal game, anybody can win this one, but of course Syracuse is worried because they have not scored in a while.
Tough angle and an even tougher shot off the fake. Syracuse gets it back on the goal by Casey Donegan. They go up 9-7. What a tremendous fake by Donegan.
Donegan does a great job of drawing the defenseman. Watch, and then he'll stick fake right by him, a little face dodge, launches himself in, and shoots just around Ireland. Looked like maybe an old 5-hole shot between the legs. Ground level, you'll be able to tell. Back to Donegan. He'll grab it right around the defenseman, and then under the legs of Ireland. Good move for him to give them a 2-goal margin again. Never been behind Syracuse in this game.
Signer and Driggs facing off this time. Syracuse controlled the ground balls early. Here's Tommy Smith turning and tossing back. Overshot one man, but another's there to play it. Now Dixon in the midfield area. Quickly into the box. Virginia moving the ball smartly now. Sean Miller being ragged by the defense, being pushed toward the sideline. He just stayed in bounds. Now Driggs looks back. Gives it to Traynor coming on. They clear out and give Traynor a lot of shooting room, and that shot is wide. Backed up, however, by Whiteley. Whiteley's been quiet.
Well, I don't think Stargett thinks that Whiteley and Watson, they're both 5'8". I don't think he's comfortable with them going one-on-one against this aggressive defense for Syracuse. They want to get the start from the midfield.
They look for David Jones, and why not? He scored 3 goals. He comes out with a nice dodge. He goes low. Rozier for the save. Rick Beardsley is going to be doubled, and he comes out of there with the ball. He has magnificent stick skills. Now Chad Smith. The long sticks for Syracuse, really very adept at moving the ball. Now Don Finn pointing ahead to one of his players where he wants him to be. Roy Colsey comes on, gets the ball. Signer heads off. Colsey with the dodge, draws the double, finds Finn. Here's Colsey. He works through, lost the handle, and back come the Cavaliers.
Great stick check by the short stick defensive midfielder.
Now we're seeing some of the speed of Virginia. Here's an opportunity. And there's Rozier. Back the other way we come in transition.
And Dave, again, the high shot. Rozier seems to be picking them all off. Virginia's got to start putting that baby on the ground and really testing them if they want to get more goals.
Finn with a fake. Eisenberg's on for Syracuse. He's camped out in front. Colsey pops out to play it. 9-7 Syracuse. I don't think we'll threaten that 38-goal tournament record. Hopkins and Towson State said it earlier this year. Casey Donegan's been a big factor in the game. Now the give to Morris. He tries to beat his man. Feed in front to Kavovit is knocked into the crease. May draw the push. He will.
Joe Wilson was there to check from behind. Kavovit in good position. And Wilson just clamped down on him, but pushed him forward a little bit. Ball goes back to Syracuse.
This is a national semifinal game. Charlie Lockwood has not scored for Syracuse.
And that first midfield is full of egos, believe me. And I know Charlie Lockwood is fully aware that he hasn't dented the nets yet.
Here's defense by Crisp. Oh, nice pop-up move by Finn. What a feed! And the rebound is put in. Donegan again.
Great save initially by Ireland, but the rebound shot for Syracuse, it's not their first. They get a 3-goal lead off it. 10-7, Syracuse in control. Syracuse's ability to pick up the loose ball after the first save has been critical today. They have at least 2 goals off it. Watch Finn find the man in front. Great save in front of the goal. Donegan picks up the loose ball right out of the air. Woody Moore cannot make the check. And from the backside, it's Donegan beating Ireland. The first save was made. It's the second save that becomes so critical in this game with high velocity shots.
Casey only goes 5'7". He's a senior out of Corning, New York. He has 3 goals today. He got 5 this year against Pennsylvania. Syracuse has a 3-goal lead, 10-7. Just to tell you how good things come in small packages, Donegan is 5'7", Don Finn is 5'8", and they've got 6 of the 10 goals.
And both starting attackmen for Virginia about the same size, 5'8", 165, or around in that area.
It's a game for all sizes, and you got to have a lot of speed. Syracuse 10, Virginia 7. We're in the third quarter, midway through, 7 minutes to go. Virginia in the dark jerseys, they have the ball. Brad Hoyt. Oh, the chest save that time. And the rebound through the legs of Whiteley. Chad Smith picks it up. Syracuse again getting back that ground ball momentum they had in the first half. Here comes Mark Fietta, checked away by Watson.
Watson has surprised Starger this year with his poise as a freshman. Very confident player.
Alex Rozier, 16 saves, 8 for James Ireland.
At one point, I think he was 8 against none, so they've been played pretty evenly since that point in the game.
There's a pick play, and Fotopoulos with a big stick ran right around it, chasing Hoy. Players continue to slip, mostly for Syracuse on this natural grass surface.
And again, Virginia plays on natural grass, and Syracuse, of course, on turf, and I think, obviously, it's a factor.
Wittick defends on Drew Fox. Fox still with it. This time Virginia had a bunch of players in the slot. A bad pass, the ball rolling to midfield, and Syracuse tries to rake it across. Somebody stepped over for an offsides.
Push call. They'll give it a push call, and that give it back to Virginia. Call coming against Toby Price.
6 minutes to go, third quarter. Syracuse 10, Virginia 7. The Cavaliers were within 1 at 8-7. Here's a fine feed and a good save by Rozier again. Fotopoulos picks it up. Now Syracuse looks like they've regained their composure. Here's Rick Beardsley, loves to carry that stick out ahead. He feeds up ahead to the galloping Charlie Lockwood. Lockwood, who is a walk-on on the Syracuse basketball team this year, fires and scores. First goal of the game for Charlie Lockwood, and a big one. It ups the lead to 4 goals at 11-7.
Well, he knew he wanted to get some shots off because he's a tremendously talented player, and he knows he hasn't scored yet. This is why they call him Laser Lockwood, nicknamed the Laser. He looks at the defense sagging in, just gets full velocity, full body behind this, and with about a 95 probably mile-an-hour shot beats Ireland. That ball was right toward the stick with enough speed to beat the reaction time of Ireland.
97th career goal right there for Charlie Lockwood. Become a more multi-dimensional player in recent years. Had the big shot early on in his career, but now quite a passer, and they'll look for his teammates. Here's Toby Price, won the faceoff. He's been a pleasant surprise today. Now Roy Colsey running behind Dom Finn, and they get it now to Donegan.
Smith looking for it in front.
Good ball movement by Syracuse, right in front, and Beardsley, who's camped out, couldn't prevent himself from stepping.
And that's a foul on Beardsley. I thought it was Smith. I said Smith. It was Beardsley who came all the way down from the defensive end and waited for the feed. It came in, he got checked from behind, and then shoved the player after he missed his shot and gets called for it.
Well, it fits right in with the pattern. As soon as Syracuse gets up 4 goals, they take a chance.
Beardsley comes down. He wants it. He's begging for it. He gets it. The check from behind. He's disappointed. The shot was behind. Was saved anyway. He's mad about it. Comes in. That player says something. I think after that moment, he comes back and shoves 29. And that's Craig Ronald. Ronald was probably giving his opinion about that shot.
4 goals, Syracuse advantage. 5 minutes to go, third quarter.
Big extra man. They've got to get one here, down by 4. Take advantage of these fouls by Syracuse.
Miller across to Trainer. You have to go high to get it. Fox is in the middle. Jones with 3 goals. Playing catch with Watson. Now Trainer. He'll crank. He'll miss.
You know, this penalty is something that the referees are emphasizing, Dave. It's that taunting, as it were, in the penalty book. They really want to cut down the taunting. That's really trickling down from the pro sports. You see it in the NBA playoffs. They want to stop the talking from these players back and forth, and that's what that penalty right now is all about.
They take out the trash talking penalty. From behind, Trainer, perfect timing, had it knocked away as the penalty was up, and Syracuse couldn't have timed that one any better. Hans Schmidt has a couple of seconds of freedom to regain the ball. Cavavit on the give to Donegan.
Virginia still continues to dominate in shots, but not the kind of quality shots that Syracuse continues to pour on.
Donegan used the Morrissey pick. He loses the ball. It's going to stay inbounds. He's battling there with the big defender, Joe Wilson.
push call, gives it back to Syracuse.
Donegan puts it back in play. Eisenberg, a cutter in front. Paul Sullivan is on. He gets it down, number 21. Sullivan starts his move. He slips down. He's in trouble, and he loses it. However, a hold. Woody Moore gets detected. Syracuse with 11 goals on only 22 shots. Virginia, meanwhile, 7 of 38.
50% shooting is pretty impressive.
Kavovit. Kavovit keeps his balance. Fietta. That was a tough one, but Syracuse had the backup, so he felt he could risk it. 3:33 to go in the third. Jim Morrissey. Quick stick attempt by Paul Sullivan, upset with himself for missing. Here comes Tommy Smith. Tommy, quick speed. Trainer behind his back for Whiteley. He feeds all the way across. Rozier has to redirect his efforts, and he makes the save. And then we get a whistle as Smith was in playing the rebound.
I tell you, those high-velocity shots, if they just try some more low, Rozier's been so strong high, he just picks them out of the air.
Ball goes over to Syracuse.
They continue to try to test Rozier with a high shot.
Chad Smith gives it back to Colsey. 4 men are concerned about Roy Colsey as he crossed the restraining line. He sends it back to Charlie Lockwood. He sees Finn coming on. Here's Dom, met by Moore and Dixon.
This makes it very tough when you have these 3 guys on the field. You never know when they're going to be on the field at the same time, and that causes a lot of problems for the defense.
There's a real chess match starting. Finn taken down. Shot that one off the back of a defender, and the rebound, the garbage put in by Roy Colsey. 5-goal lead now. Syracuse 12, Virginia 7. The Orangemen have scored 4 unanswered goals. After the first and third quarters, the officials do a mandatory stick check.
They arbitrarily pick one out of one of the team players' hands, and it's okay because they're giving it back to him. The goal for starts with Dom Finn, giving all kinds of problems to the defense of Virginia. But look at them, they make the big save initially. Here's Colsey picking up the already saved ball for the follow-up, and Colsey gets his 3rd goal of the game. And again, they get the follow-up shot, Dave. I don't know how many they've had today, but it's been a lot. They make the save, Ireland does, in the defense for Virginia, but then Syracuse is there to pick it up and redirect it.
This equals Syracuse's biggest lead of the game, 5 goals. So it was an 8-7 game. Now Syracuse has scored 4 straight. Lockwood looks determined. He fired it in, but there was a whistle beforehand, a ward-off.
Ward-off call. You saw the determination on Lockwood. He definitely wanted to get a shot off.
Let's explain that ward-off term for newcomers to lacrosse.
Well, he basically just took his off-stick hand and pushed away the defense stick of the other player.
The free arm.
You've got to take the check by that player. You can't push it away.
2 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Virginia looking to regain the magic.
Well, Virginia had a 4-goal run to put them in good position, and now a 4-goal run by Syracuse puts them in a pretty bad spot. They need a goal badly, obviously, 5 down.
And once again, Virginia having trouble with the ground balls. Syracuse picking them up at will. Give and go. Lockwood. Kavovit lost his angle. The rebound. And a Colsey attempt. No good. The goalie Ireland is out. He's fair game. He's down. The cage is open. There's a flag down and a play on. And now a stoppage of play. Syracuse thinks there should be a second penalty out near the midfield area.
Well, Ireland got in trouble. He made a great gambling move to come out and get the ball, but then he lost possession and was about 20 yards outside of the net. Here he is in trouble because he's getting pressed by Syracuse. When the ball goes down, he is totally out of the goal. He has to follow the ball in hopes that play will be stopped.
And the goalie has been penalized, so he goes to the penalty box. We have a new man on the nets.
Man, that is a tough position to be in. How would you like to come in against Syracuse offense with a man advantage with no warm-up?
Court Durling is coming on.
cross-check call, which, if it is cross-check, it's probably the first one I've heard of all year. It's in the rule book, but they hardly ever call it. It was a significant check from behind, which definitely was a foul. They're conferring down there, the three referees, right around the midfield area, and Durling's back there. I'm surprised they aren't warming Durling up. He's just standing there. He hasn't had a chance to get warmed up, and he's going to face the Syracuse extra man. Wouldn't you think you'd be throwing the ball at him and trying to get him loose?
If you're allowed to. Court Durling is a sophomore from Annapolis, right down the road. Played at Severn High School, and he is in the game now. As we have Durling, Ireland, in the penalty box. Tom Starsha on the left. Mark Van Arsdale, his assistant, is on the right. UVA trailing Syracuse 12-7. Starsha's brother-in-law is Peter Lasagna, who is the head coach of Brown.
Simmons trying to get this thing worked out. It doesn't look like they're changing anything on the field. They're still it'll be 6 against 5 with Durling in the goal. Well, no, they have double penalties. That's the call. There's Charlie Lockwood's in there as well. So it's 5 against 5 right now, not an extra man.
So indeed, Syracuse's late plea was rewarded. They did get the penalty on Ireland for his hit near midfield after the Orangeman had been guilty earlier. New man in the net, Court Durling. Let's see if Syracuse can test him. Donegan has it. He's got 3 goals in the game. That's the time remaining in this third quarter. The winner of this game plays the winner of the All-Ivy semi, Princeton and Brown. Outside Roy Colsey now.
This year, the new rule for the goalies, Dave, that they have to serve their time. You used to be able to put it in home or an attack when there's somebody else in there for them. They've got to go ahead and go to the penalty box, and that puts Durling on the spot right now. And you would think that they would just give it to Dom Finn or somebody out front and put some pressure on Durling.
Kavovit, and they're saved by Durling.
Kavovit made it pretty easy for him. Threw it right to his stick. Durling looked very comfortable.
Now Woody Moore legs it downfield with 20 seconds to go in the quarter. David Jones, who has 3 goals for Virginia, played loosely by Colsey. We're down now to 10 seconds to go in this third quarter. Jones can't get a shot away, put it on the ground. Not a good pass. And Whiteley's going to run it down. His time is about to run out here in the third quarter.
Well, we've seen Virginia twice now look really pretty pathetic with time running out, not getting even a good shot off when they desperately need a goal. They did it in the first half, and they did it here ending the third quarter.
So an unusual end to this third quarter. 3 in the books, with Syracuse leading 12-7. We'll be right back after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championship on the Prime Network. The fourth quarter has just begun. Syracuse has the 5-goal lead, looking to reach the championship again, and a beautiful behind-the-back goal by Sean Miller.
Miller has looked great as a shooter, and that's what he is known for, finishing off feeds from most often Whiteley. Watch Whiteley look away. He'll look to his left at the last moment, and then he feeds inside, a look-away feed, hits Miller. Miller wraps it around his shoulders to beat Rozier to start the fourth quarter.
That's right out of the Syracuse style book.
It certainly is, and that is a confidence builder. They've got to climb a mountain in this fourth quarter if they want to be in this game. They've got 4 more to go to tie.
They're down 12-8. Now, having seen that, don't be surprised if the Syracuse player comes back with a shot between his legs or maybe tries to dive over or around the cage.
That was an extra man play. Rick Beardsley was in the box. He had a late hit to end the third quarter. So it was a 6-on-5 play. They got that last goal.
Nugent won the faceoff. Virginia overshoots Watson. One of those unforced errors they committed early in the game when they fell behind 5-1. Here are the stats after 3 quarters of play here at College Park.
And a good look at Michael Watson as a background. He has had a tremendous year. Again, the shots for Virginia, you really have to wonder. Look at the dominance in shots, but they've had a lot of time down there, just have not beaten Rozier throughout the game. Might have goals, 2 for Virginia, 1 for Syracuse. And ground balls could be a key, much more here in the fourth quarter.
The cage was open, and Beardsley fired it. How many yards was that shot? About 60?
Got to be about 50, 60 yards, absolutely. And that thing had a lot of mustard on it.
Looked like Mark Messier looking for the empty net.
Ireland in the fourth quarter, Dave, is going to have the toughest of the 2 goalies positions because the sun's going to start to get in his eyes a little bit down there.
Now Fietta starts his dodge. He gave it up on the bounce, intended for Signer, who couldn't handle it. Back come the Cavaliers, watching the freshman. Couldn't get around Beardsley. He feeds into a crowd, intercepted by Syracuse. Another wasted possession by the Cavaliers.
Watson was trying to hit 1 of 2 players. Whiteley started to cut. He came back. Wasn't really open.
Did we have a hold there as Chad Smith had the ball taken away from him?
They're saying ball on the ground. Hold call and they'll give possession. So that's what Desco's saying. Come on, the hold was with possession, but they're saying the ball was on the ground. Check there. Ball comes out. Then the hold. Good call by the ref.
Here comes Lockwood trying to beat his man. Charlie with the left hand. Nice check to get away from him, but they'll call a penalty.
Well, they're starting to tighten up the calls here just when Virginia needs a little bit of relaxed.
That crisp.
Calling on the big checks. Cripps, the senior from Kentucky, checks in on Lockwood. Looked like a legal, clean check.
So now Crisp heads off. Syracuse leading by 4. Do they have the extra man here?
They certainly do.
And that gets the
by
attention
Virginia.
of Dom Starsha. He calls a timeout for his Cavaliers. We're down to 13:29 to go. Syracuse 12, Virginia 8. Cavaliers can't afford to fall behind by 1 more. Syracuse will have not only a 1-man advantage, but a 2-man advantage because of 2 penalties called on that last instance.
And it's Joe Wilson and Matt Crisp, 2 of their starting guys, the guys they really want to have in there on a man-down situation. They'll both be in the penalty box.
2 defensive players are out. Now let's see what Syracuse has cooked up.
Well, if you want to have a point in the game where they've got to make the play, it'll be right here for Virginia.
And the save nicely by Ireland back in the game. As Don Finn with turnaround shot in the crease. Now Chad Smith at midfield. Overshoots 1 Syracuse player. It's kicked back across. Virginia picks it up.
Dave, if there was a comeback story, it would have to start here.
Woody Moore feeds the off wing and a score.
Can you believe it? They're 2-man down, facing elimination from Syracuse, the defending champions. They not only turn away the extra man play, but they get a goal on the other end. Woody Moore comes through and beats 2 defenders. Beats Chad Smith with great speed, finds the open man down low. 3 fakes, finally goes high against Rozier. Once Rozier commits low, Timmy Whiteley goes up above him and gets the goal to bring his team within 3.
First goal of the game for Tim Whiteley.
That's exactly where you want to find a guy like Whiteley. He is so smart. He's not going to be initiating a lot of plays one-on-one, getting a lot of big goals that way, but he is where he's supposed to be in transition, and he's a great guy to get the ball to on a fast break.
Virginia lost quite a bit with the graduation of Pelkey and Falk last year, and now Whiteley and Watson.
No 2 guys were had higher regard coming out of high school than Whiteley and Watson.
Now this is a key point in the game. Virginia is down by 3, down by 2.
There's that cannon left-handed shot by Driggs. We talk about a turning point possibly in a comeback. Moments ago, they score when they're 2-man down, and now the spirit may have been punched out of the emotional balloon of Syracuse, because look at Driggs. He comes back and takes the high, or the low shot, rather, left-handed, right in the corner, beating Rozier. Rozier looks a little shaky now, a little rattled. The shot's coming often, more often in the first half. And they are within 2.
And tons of time left. 12.5 minutes to go. Chris Driggs getting the last goal. Roy Simmons in a very studied position on the Syracuse sideline next to assistants Laddie Hurl and John Desco. Toby Price on the all-important face-off. Procedure call will give the ball to Syracuse. Driggs was on top of the ball.
And the guy that I would fear most as a coach, Roy Colsey, is on the field with Dom Finn.
Finn backs off.
Virginia out shooting.
2-1 advantage. Almost
3-25. Dramatic. Shows you how great Rozier has been today.
Here's Finn spinning, trying to find his angle. Now Colsey can't handle it. That ball will go out of bounds.
It'll go to Virginia. They hustled, ran it down. Craig Ronald from Loyola here in Maryland, the senior, ran it down, but it just hit the white chalk before Colsey got to it.
Weather-wise, it's not too hot. Humidity not a factor. A refreshing breeze, so these players should be fresh and full of energy here in the fourth quarter.
Dave, the runs have been dramatic. Virginia with a run, 4 goals to get back in the game early in this game, and then it was the 4-goal run by Syracuse to get them well ahead. Now 3 straight goals. Miller, Whiteley, Driggs, and Virginia is knocking on the door.
12-10 and 12 minutes to go in regulation. If it's tied, we have sudden death. On the ground, played by Virginia. Toby Price defending against Driggs. They feed it to Watson. Watson up high. Played by Hoyt. Hoyt moving on Whittick. Gets the step, gets the shot, gets the goal!
And the bounce shots continue to confuse Rozier. We talked earlier about why is Virginia shooting high all the time? Why do they keep going high when the low shots seem to really confuse Rozier more? Now they're putting the shots consistently low, and Rozier looks unsettled. Watch the sheer speed come right down the pike here. Hoig, the bounce shot, and Rozier does not go down as well as he saves the high shots. This is a ball game. 1-goal lead for the Orangemen.
12-11. 4 unanswered goals now by Virginia.
Each team going on a run of 4, so they are right back where they were in the third quarter.
5-1 after 1 quarter. 8-6 at the half. 12-7 after 3. It's 12-11 now. The ball redirected to Ireland.
And you go back to when Syracuse was up by 2, and they gave up a goal rather than score.
Here comes Virginia. They have not tied the game. Now they do.
Transition lacrosse. The success of Virginia all year long was in transition. This team is psyched. Rozier can't believe it. He's totally rattled. You talked about the seesaw game of a goalie. He has had a roller coaster of a game. Rozier has looked unbeatable at times. Now he looks like he can't see the ball at all. Watson just gives it everything he's got. The sheer speed beats Rozier. Transition.
Syracuse takes a timeout, and that pumps this crowd up again, which is got a tremendous Virginia contingent here. And we are tied for the first time, 12-12, with 11 minutes to go. Don't you dare leave. Last week, Virginia won at North Carolina 12-10. Syracuse won at home 12-11.
And this game is going right the way those other games went. It's 12-12. Could be 13-12. Rozier, after that goal by Watson, can't believe it. He was in total control, maybe going for an MVP honor in the first half. He has been sensational. But look at the stats we've shown you, Dave. You've had tremendous shots in volume from Virginia against Rozier. He can't do it all. He needs help.
Nugent wins the face. Watson, cross, score! Virginia takes the lead. 6 straight goals by Virginia.
And it's all in transition. Starsia told you, this team has to run. We talked about it early on. They set up a lot of one-on-ones, a lot of half-field. It wasn't successful. When this team for Virginia can get in transition, they are very tough to stop. They move the ball so beautifully, and Whiteley again is the finisher. The ball comes off the faceoff. They make 2 passes, one to the left. The defense now sliding. Whiteley's wide open down below, takes the left-handed shot. Rozier has no chance to make the save. He throws his body at it, but can't make it. One more time. Goes to there. Rozier's now on the right pipe. Rozier goes to the left pipe, and a big goal.
And it is that second pass that Virginia was reluctant to make in the first half that is really coming through now.
And Rozier was red hot, but now with the ball movement, they have him rattled.
This was a 12-7 game. Virginia has scored 6 straight goals here in the fourth quarter in under 4 minutes.
They have 10 different guys that have scored goals against only a handful of guys for the Syracuse team.
Here comes Cavavit looking to tie the game for Syracuse. Cavavit is triple teamed. The ball is down. Virginia's got it. Virginia now gets it to Watson. Syracuse trying to slow the transition down with Beardsley.
Beardsley way out on Watson. Smith on Whiteley.
Whiteley finds a man coming on. Woody Moore started the comeback. There's a takeaway and it's legal. Remember when Syracuse had the 2-man advantage, Moore took the ball upfield, beat 2 men, and that got Virginia on track. And you called it at the time, Leaf. You said this one might get Virginia going, and it certainly did. Virginia 13, Syracuse 12. The Orangemen look to tie. Cavavit does.
Cavavit made a mistake moments ago by going one-on-one. He's not your one-on-one guy. He got tied up. 3 defensemen stripped him of the ball. This time, Cavavit is right where he should be off the ball. He gets the ball in the middle from the other player, wheels and fires. He is such a smart player. That's exactly where you want Cavavit. Again, the ball came way out. Across to Cavavit. He wheels and takes the left-handed shot.
13-13. 10 minutes to go. Cavavit with 1 goal and 1 assist. Dave Signer on for the faceoff against Nugent.
Cavavit, again, such a surprise for Syracuse. He's a pre-med student, got a 3.2 in the first semester of the curriculum. He's a very heady player.
Syracuse got the face, and the shot is saved by Ireland. His quick outlet. There'll be a foot race at midfield for this ball. Watson gets it. Watson carries it to the middle. He's got a man on the left wing. Nugent saved by Syracuse's Rozier. Back the other way we come. End-to-end thoroughbred action.
This is what we expected to see today. That one right in the sun. I talked about the sun. The later this game goes, the more of a factor it's going to be. Watch the shadows. He was looking right into the sun, Donegan was. But this action is exactly what this 20,000-plus fans here wanted to see. Rocket shot, saved by Rozier, who now is throwing his body down low, and then they sent it right up with the outlet pass, and racehorse is exactly what it is, Dave.
Virginia with all those shots and much more accuracy here in the second half. 13 all tied in the midfield area. Here is Doss coming all the way in. Didn't get a real good shot, but backed up by Virginia.
Well, you can thank Whittick, number 45. He came behind. He did not give up on Dosh. Checked him from behind, and that's why the ball went wide to the right.
Virginia with 6 unanswered goals to open the fourth quarter. We're tied at 13.
Second quarter has been their quarter all year. You can see they scored 5 goals there, but now the fourth quarter, which traditionally for the Stats has not been a good quarter for Virginia, they've got to do it here, and they are.
Drew Fox gave it up. Watson to Whiteley, had to pull that one down. There's Fox again with Whittick on him.
Whittick is a very tough short stick defender.
Under 9 minutes to go. Fox gets room for the left-hand shot. The backup again from Whiteley. Quickly the ball will be put in play again. No rest for the weary, particularly Alex Rozier. Fox on the pop out against Whittick.
Watch for the slide for Syracuse.
Point was in the slot. Now it's Dosh. Dosh with a spin move on Toby Price, gets free, bounced it over the cage.
I think Rozier got a piece of that one. He looks a little more comfortable now. He's had a couple of these last saves hitting his body. You can see him throwing his body down a lot more than he did early on.
20 saves now for Rozier.
Very patient offense for Virginia. They're getting good shots and backing them up to maintain possession. Great check by Whittick.
Check by Mike Whittick gives the ball back to Syracuse. We asked Roy Simmons what he would do if his team needed a goal late in the game.
Oh, I'd probably go with 3 first-team All-Americans. Try and get the ball and go to the cage. We're not bashful. I think if you would ask any 10 of my players that are on the field at that time if they wanted the ball, they'd all say yes. If you can remember last year, I had a long stick, try and jump over the cage, a la Gary Gate. Gary Gate to win the ball game, the national title. That was a dream of his. It's a dream of every kid to throw in the lasso. No one's going to duck the issue.
And that's why they all want to play at Syracuse, because Roy Simmons lets you fulfill your dream.
There's one of them who took the shot. Charlie Lockwood had hit the pipe and ricocheted out of bounds. Syracuse closest to it.
And Dave, the dream team's out there. You've got Lockwood, Colsey, and Finn.
Donegan's had a big game. He's number 1 in the right corner of your screen. And they feed it in close. They try to get it to Lockwood.
Willie Moore with great speed, went step for step with laser.
Here comes Mark Dixon. Dixon to Watson, who's been dangerous. Who's going to be closest to this?
I think
it was out of bounds.
I think it was played by Virginia out of bounds.
Good call. Syracuse gets it right back. Hans Schmidt to Colsey in front. Oh, Watson tried to sneak up on him. Now in the midfield area. We're in a 13-13 tie. Charlie Lockwood has it. Look at the shot. Advantage for Virginia. 51-29. Here comes Roy Colsey against Tommy Smith.
Tell you what, win or lose, Rozier's had a heck of a game taking that amount of shots.
Dom Finn. Back to Colsey. Low hard one. That hit the defenseman. And the rebound is knocked toward the sideline by Virginia. Out of bounds. Syracuse will keep it.
It was very interesting that the Virginia defenseman just let it go out of bounds. Wilson didn't know that his player just threw it out. He thought it was deflected over there off a Syracuse player. He could have had possession if he wanted to.
Roy Colsey gives it back to Dom Finn. We're under 7 minutes to go. We're tied at 13 all.
You see a different style of player here than Lockwood. Watch the change of direction of Dom Finn if he holds it as one-on-one. He's calling for a one-on-one. He wants a clear out, but he's not getting it from his other middies. Lockwood didn't clear through. Lockwood stayed there.
Footing will be important. Syracuse players have slipped time and again.
Colsey.
Now to give to Colsey from a tough angle. It hit the pipe. Back to midfield. And Syracuse gets it again.
Ireland got the save off the pipe that time. Great shot by Colsey. Hit the iron.
Lockwood winds and fires. That one hit the side of the cage. Virginia ball. As we come down to 6 minutes to go, Leaf.
Great transition. This is when they're dangerous.
Here comes Woody Moore. Watson likes to set up on that left side. Now he cuts toward the cage.
And Syracuse didn't gamble as much, Dave. You saw the defense go back in. Everybody stayed with their man. They just took away that easy backdoor shot.
This is a new alignment. They got Watson right in front of the cage. Beardsley's on him.
Beardsley's a very active defenseman. Stars are maybe trying to keep him out of the defensive slide.
David Jones handling it outside. They've cleared off an entire side for Jones to work one-on-one. He has 3 goals in the game. 5.5 minutes remaining. We're tied at 13. Now Jones gives it up. Here's the chess match.
5:21 left, and a little too much time, of course, to wait for that last shot. Obviously, everyone counts. Starger knows it may be his last shot.
Here comes Jones against Lockwood. Back behind is Watson. Driggs pops free. He fires. Saved by Rozier, and he pulls in the rebound.
With the great success of the bounce shots, it's amazing that they are throwing it high again right into Rozier's stick.
21 saves. Syracuse throws it away down the sideline with 4:55 to go. You heard from Roy Simmons about a last-second shot. What will Dom Starcher and Virginia plan to do?
Against Syracuse, it's a little hard to read sometimes if or when their slides are coming. So I think we dodge to score, and then we have a little movement where we always look at the X behind. Timmy Whiteley does a nice job back there, and then look back inside. So that would be us.
And I think that plays into why Watson was on the crease.
Great steal in the midfield area by Kavavic. Now Syracuse. Every possession so important now as they're down to 4:40 to go. This game is tied at 13. Syracuse has been in this position before. 2 years ago, they went to double overtime and got beat by Princeton in the championship game. Eisenberg on. The defending national champion Syracuse Orangemen in a 13-all tie with the Virginia Cavaliers in their first semifinal appearance since 1988. Syracuse has been here 12 consecutive years.
And the last 4 minutes of the game, when it's tied, that's when that really weighs on the emotional level of these players. Syracuse has done it so many times. It's ingrained in them from the first day they step on the practice field.
These teams played last fall in a scrimmage. Syracuse won it. They haven't played in a regular game since the playoffs in '86.
Virginia's defense is well tempered for this kind of offense. They're very controlled.
Here comes Fietta. A bounce feed, a hard shot, a save by Ireland. It goes in. It trickled in.
Ireland made a great save, and this is the second time a ball has just had so much spin that it just carried on after his block. These days, I've talked about goalie styles over the years, how they've changed, Dave, but nowadays with the velocity of shots, you are more of a blocker than a saver. He makes the first block. Now the ball's spinning. He swats at it, can't get it. He probably even helped it go in. Ireland with a big block and save. The follow-up rolls in.
Sullivan scores on Ireland. 14-13 Syracuse. 3.5 to go.
Cavalvit and Sullivan, 2 goals in a row. Unsuspecting heroes from the Syracuse side.
Nearly 7 minutes between those scores. Syracuse has scored the last 2, and Toby Price wins a big face-off. He's got clear sailing. He gives it up. They feed the crease. Too many passes by Syracuse, and they didn't get a good shot. The Orange hustled in the loose ball. Virginia, though, is going to get it. Virginia's pass in the midfield area, intercepted. A spectacular effort.
Dom Finn just saved what could have been the last offensive possession for Virginia. So critical, the big play by Dom Finn.
They've done that several times in the game, stealing outlets in the midfield area. And now the Orangemen will want to run some clock.
Charlie Lockwood, who wants to be the guy to win the game, who wants to take a shot.
Lockwood feeds in close. Colsey had it stripped away. On the ground, they get it to Lockwood. And Syracuse runs down another loose ball. The shots have belonged to Virginia. The ground balls to Syracuse. The Orangemen were able to call a timeout as they regain possession with 2:45 to go. It's Syracuse 14, Virginia 13. This game, everything we could have asked for.